One of Fukuoka's specialties is mentaiko. That's fish roe, salted fish roe. It's usually from cod, I believe, although you can get different kinds of mentaiko. We found that mentaiko is a little expensive to order in restaurants, so since we have an Airbnb with a kitchen, we're gonna be trying to cook it ourselves. Yesterday we went to Fukuya, one of the most famous mentaiko shops around. It's a little salty. It's only a bit fishy, but it's a bit salty and quite spicy as well. We got ourselves a mentaiko, which we think might be suited to what we want to do, although we haven't tried it yet. So let's give it a go. The one that we chose didn't have a sample. It is called Special Mix, something like that in English. And it is what we were told, a mix between the normal mentaiko along with jellyfish mentaiko. It also has yuzu in it, which we thought might be better since it would be milder and not as overwhelmingly fishy. Let's give it a go. It is quite salty still. We were told that it would be not salty, it would be more sour from citrus. I do remember the other ones being quite salty though. So the fact that the saltiness of this one disappears after you've chewed it a little bit rather than lingers, I think that does make it less salty. But you can taste the yuzu, I think. The yuzu is a hint. It's quite nice. Very, very faint. And it's not overwhelmingly spicy, even though there is a kind of a very light layer of spice. The taste of spicy without being spicy, if you get what I mean. It's actually quite smooth. The roe is a lot smaller than I expected. You can barely tell it's there. It's got pieces of almost the jellyfish texture, the sort of crunchy collagenous texture, which is quite interesting. We've challenged ourselves so that for the next 24 hours, that's all of tomorrow, we're going to be cooking and eating dishes, all of which incorporate mentaiko. For breakfast, lunch, dinner, and also even dessert. Let's see what we can come up with. Cabbage, daikon, egg, whipping cream. Looking for the biggest one. But we're not done. So sesame dressing. Altogether, we spent 1,030 on the supermarket stuff, 623 on the pharmacy, which for some reason had a lot of groceries in it, and we spent 756 yen on the mentaiko. And all of this is going to be used over 3 meals plus 1 dessert. So we'll see what we can do with it. Some of the stuff can be used for another day too, like sauce and eggs. We're gonna see if we can bring it with us while we travel. For breakfast, we have Mentaiko Inkigayo sandwich. An Inkigayo sandwich is a really popular sandwich in Korea. We saw it all over when we were there. It's the egg salad sandwich served in cafeterias at music shows for idol song promotions. And it's special because it's got a layer of jam in the middle. For the first layer, the egg salad, we use boiled eggs, mayonnaise, a little bit of black pepper, and of course, mentaiko time. For the jam, we use the strawberry jam that we made in our strawberry making experience. And for the salad, we used finely sliced cabbage, some mayonnaise, and a little bit of sesame dressing because sesame goes really well with mentaiko. Usually the inkigayo sandwich has surimi and coleslaw, but since we're using mentaiko, we decided to pull out the crab. The coleslaw has too many vegetable ingredients, so we thought we'd just cut it down to one simple ingredient, the cabbage. Right? Give it a go. This is a mistake. I insisted on 4 slices of bread. I did not. The mentaiko is quite strong. It's good. The jam's not very strong at all, but I can taste the mentaiko quite nicely. It's a little bit fishy, and the sesame dressing from the coleslaw is really good with it. First of all, this is a loaf of bread. It is not a sandwich. It's the size of my head. Might as well just go for it. I wish there was more jam. But the egg salad is not as strong as I thought it would be. And I like the umami coming from the sesame. Nice and crispy, and the eggs are nice and soft. Too much bread, too much bread, too much bread. Other than the quantity of the bread, what do you think about the sandwich? It's really tasty. It sounds really unusual because of the jam, but if you think about there being relish or tomato sauce in a normal sandwich, then you kind of get that sort of concept. I think since Asian food doesn't have too much of a sour flavor, this is mostly creamy and sweet with a little bit of the nutty flavor from sesame seeds. It goes quite well together, I'm surprised. Any regrets for you? The bread is a regret. Anyway, on to lunch. Woo! For lunch, we have kimbap. This kimbap has in it a rolled egg omelette, some pickled daikon radish, raw sliced red capsicum, some fried onions, and mentaiko some mayonnaise. That's my own personal addition. We also put in some sesame oil and salt and pepper in the fried onions. Let's give it a taste. I put mostly the jellyfish mentaiko, which is the crispy one, so it's got a similar texture to the capsicum, but it's a little bit salty, so it gives you a huge burst of like savory, salty, slightly fishy flavor, which is really good. I guess fish roe in sushi is not exactly uncommon. I think it has the most flavor out of everything else in the kimbap. Oh, the daikon is good too. I think we should have seasoned the rice with a bit of salt, but we didn't do that. Salt and vinegar. This was a pretty not too out of the ordinary dish, I think. It's good. For dinner, we have Mentaiko Carbonara pasta. The classic Mentaiko dish. We boiled the pasta, beat up the eggs, threw in some salt, pepper, and capsicum, and also finally threw in the Mentaiko. Mentaiko time. And there you have it. A very rustic, not quite carbonara. Let's give it a taste. Salty. I definitely oversalted everything. But the noodles are fairly good texture. It has a kind of a fishy flavor. Kind of like tuna. Oceany flavor. And a little bit of the citrus comes through too. The yuzu that they put in the mentaiko. I don't think you can really go wrong with carbonara, with pasta and mentaiko, because it's such a classic combination. Any regrets for you? Salt. That's my fault. We also kind of scrambled the eggs a little bit, but that's okay. It's pretty tasty, and if you chew, you can kind of feel the little crunchy pieces of the mentaiko. That's fun. Not bad. Okay, on to dessert. It's dessert time, and we made mentaiko strawberry pancakes. It's got a pre-mixed hot cake, which I whipped the egg whites up to make it fluffier before I mixed it in. It's got a pre-whipped whipped cream, which we just squeezed out a bottle. It's got strawberries we collected from a strawberry farm. Watch the video. And it's got mentaiko. Mentaiko time. Let's see how it goes. It just feels like the strawberry seeds actually. Not too much flavor, maybe because we didn't use all that much. I think what I'm disappointed by most is that we can't taste it at all. It's too disguised. Originally, our plan for this one was to have a kind of a spicy and salty kick to it. Kind of like adding chili to your chocolate or adding salt to caramel. That kind of savory, sweet flavor balance, but unfortunately not this time around. And the bites that there are more mentaiko, it tastes a little bit of the freshness of the sea and a little bit salty. So it's not too bizarre if you don't know it's mentaiko. It's not unpleasant at all. I think the strawberries disguise it quite well. It's quite surprising because the strawberries are quite sour, sweet, fragrant, and it kind of just like does a little play around with each other. I actually really like that. If I had a chance and had more mentaiko, I'd actually give it another go. I would as well. Any regrets? Not enough mentaiko. Would you try any of these mentaiko dishes? Let us know. Or if you've got any other ideas as to what mentaiko dishes we should have tried, let us know as well. Overall, I thought that was a pretty satisfying day, and I wouldn't specifically have a favorite one, but all the dishes actually really incorporated mentaiko a lot better than I thought they would. As per usual, all the details that we mentioned today, including kind of the recipes that we made, you can find that in our article, which will be linked in the description below. As to where we are now, follow us on Instagram at twin_inkigayo. We'll see you next time. Mentaiko time.